the instance. So you can procure an instance by navigating into developer.servicenow.com. Once you go, you'll find an option to sign up and then procure an instance. So the latest version right now here is Utah, but anywhere between Utah, Tokyo, anything should be sufficient to play around whatever we are doing. Currently, my instance is in Tokyo. How can I verify that? There is a statistics page available for us which we can navigate through. Right. After procuring, this is how the instance may look like. Once you log in, you'll have all these user interface shown up to you, and this is where we start navigating into the systems. So anything we type, anything we make or changes, let's say if I go ahead and click this, it's actually JavaScript that is happening in the backend. It understands the system and the application converts whatever that I request into a database query. It queries the database and gives back all the information to the browser. So this is where the filter navigator is. Everything and anything inside ServiceNow will be available for us via the filter navigator. So for example, if I say I want to look into the incidents created today or all the open incidents, I can just search here in the filter navigator. It will show all the application menus and modules. So the top one that we see under arrow, this is what we call application menu. Anything under this is what we call it as a module. So when I click on this, platform understands that I'm requesting some data about all the open incidents. So it converts this request that I made from the browser, and this conversion is where the Java application is coming into picture. It processes all those and then sends this information into a database understandable language. That is nothing but a database query. Queries the database will give us all the information in tables and columns format, and that format is again processed by the Java application, which is nothing but ServiceNow, the platform itself. It will process that and it will give back those information to the browser window. And once the browser receives the data, again the platform comes into picture. It will beautify the information and show us in the format that we are currently seeing. So everything is again tables and columns because we are talking about database. Whenever the database concept comes in, always remember that whatever is happening in the backend, it's always tables and columns. So inside a table, we might have multiple columns. Again, inside a table, we might have multiple rows. So columns are nothing but header. They are the field or the column label for any table. And records are nothing but multiple records that we are currently seeing here. We can say these are the columns, the number, short description, configuration item of the columns, and multiple incidents, multiple records are the ones that we define them as rows in the database. But we may not be touching all those. It's just for our understanding about what is ServiceNow and how it works in the backend. So quickly moving into understanding the navigation part. So as you log in, this is what the page you might go into, and at the top you have the ServiceNow logo. So this is what we call it as a banner frame, where you can actually change this banner from ServiceNow to anything that you are requested to. So you might get your request from your customers or clients to change this banner banner image from ServiceNow to the actual customer name, and they might have their own logos. So we can go ahead and change this, but on a high level, the top frame that you're seeing here, that is little greenish blue. So this one is called the banner frame, and all the navigation in the platform happens with the help of this banner. So the first one is nothing but all inside this, we actually have, this is what we call the filter navigator. So we can navigate to all the applications by just scrolling through the system. I have a lot of applications that by default, you should also see all these coming up. You can sideload applications by going into, ServiceNow store. We can install applications. You can install plugins from here that are already entitled to this instance. But on a high level, these are the applications and functionalities that is available out of the box. So out of the box, whenever we use this terminology, it is actually coming with ServiceNow. So anything that you see available already in the instance, you call them out of the box. Out of the box, it is provided to us. So don't get confused. It's very simple. Anything you say, we call even out of the box tables. So which means these are the tables that are already available in the instance, and that's why we call them out of the box. So that being said, filter navigator, anything we type, it will search the entire ServiceNow instance if there is an application menu or module configured for it, and it will show up all of those here. And then we have the favorites section. Favorites, in most cases, let's say I as an engineer, I work on incident change and all those on a daily basis. In that case, I can go ahead and mark them favorite. So for example, change is one more process. Let's say if I work on change on a daily basis, I can go ahead and click on the star option. So if you do this, everything under this particular application will be marked as favorite, and the same will be available for us here in the favorites. I have a lot of favorites already added, so I'm gonna change. But yeah, on a high level, the change has come up, and I can just go and play around it. But high level favorites are just for our understanding about how frequently we use any application, and if you want them to be available for us a little quicker, this is one way. And I can remove them from favorites by just clicking on X. This will remove this particular application with the confirmation from our favorites list. So adding and removing favorites, it's just with a click of a button, and you can achieve that. History talks about, if you recollect, 5 minutes ago, I just opened all the active incidents. So it takes some time to show up the history, but this is almost similar to a browser history. So as and when you're working on the instance, all your activities will be tracked here. And if you want to go back to a couple of more tabs back, but you have closed it, you have to go. You don't have to ideally look into the browser history. Everything will be tracked in the history section, using which you can navigate to that particular record which you want to open up. So and then workspaces. So mostly workspaces are something where any dedicated engineer will work. So let's say I, as a service operation team, I may need to work on the service operator workspace, because it's a easier interface for me to open up multiple tickets and work on all the services that are currently operational. So for example, it just takes some time, but we'll be able to see the reports, see what are the tasks that are assigned to me, and then get started with them right away. I don't need to, wait, query through the instance, look into a specific data, and then configure it. At this point in time, we don't have anything assigned to me. I can see that there are already 7 overdue tasks. You can click on it and observe that it does not actually open a new browser window. It just opens up a tab here, and I can just work on them and then close them. So as and when I click on any record that I want to work, it's going to open up a new tab. It's not actually opening a browser tab. This is a approval request, and I can just go ahead and approve or add my comments and do activities. This is just one such example, but any other task, let's say this is for an RITM, we'll understand what is RITM as we go. But if there is an incident, if there is any other task assigned to me, everything will be available for me in a single user interface, using which I can easily work on it. But on a high level, this is available out of the box. I did not create any of them. So even if you log into your instance, you may not see this task. These tasks are something that I have been working on in the past. Again, this is a completely new instance. You can, even if you procure, if you start playing around, you may get all these tasks or incident showing up for this particular user. Again, this is specific to user. So a different user logs in, he or she may not see all these, but still the workspace is available for them. They can go ahead and make use of it. Finally, clicking on the banner image always takes you to the home page. If you have any home page defined, it will take you, and for a developer instance, it's always going to take you to this App Engine Studio home page. And finally, there are admin consoles. So as an admin, I'll be more concerned about the instance security, how many users are logging in, and if there are any threads available, if there are any apps that I need to install, upgrade, all those will be available for me in my admin console. You can call this admin console or admin homepage. All these is what homepages, and homepages usually contains dashboards and reports. So reports, again, these are concepts and features provided by ServiceNow, which helps us to query the database, get the number, and then showcase it on the homepage. This way, you will get a nice user interface on the instance, and you can click on the number and decide what you need. So these are very clickable options. You can just click on this. If it says instance security notification, there are 21 notifications that as an admin I need to review. So I can click on it. It'll take me to a page. It'll say me what are all those 21 occurrences. Why? How come it gave me this report where the number is 21? So all these occurrences will come in. It talks about some admin login, security elevations, whatever has happened in the past, and I can look into it and decide what options I need to perform based on the specific use case as part of the admin console. So that is all. And if you observe this page, browsers usually allow you to go full screen. So when you go to full screen, you may not see what is at the top of the window. So if I navigate to incident, the name is going to change here and it becomes incident. So just what it is displaying on the browser tab. If you're in full screen, you may not see the URL or this particular top names for the tab. So that's why the names are replicated here for us, which you can view when you're in the full screen. And then we have this search option. Using the search option, you can search the entire instance for any data. For example, I can take this incident number, and if I'm in a different page, I can always use this global search option. Go ahead and search, it'll automatically give me the relevant data, or I can click on view results. So if I click on the relevant data, it'll take me to that record, what I'm searching for. But if I go ahead and click on view results, it'll show me all the other results that the instance has queried. And it will show everything available for me. So at this point in time, the exact match is only on this incident. If this is currently used elsewhere, all those occurrences will be available for us with the global search. Finally, we have the update set and application picker. So there is a key concept called application scope in ServiceNow. By default, everything will be available in the global scope, but as a different feature, if you want, you can go ahead and install a different application. That application will be available in the different scope. So scoping is to say that, when you go for projects, we define the scope of work, right? So similarly, I can create my own scope. I can define a limited work for it and define everything inside. An update set is another major concept where all your customizations and configurations gets captured in the update set, using which you can either take it as a backup or move it to a higher instance for testing or going live to production. Yeah, this is one more concept. As and when a customer picks up ServiceNow, they are provided with a minimum of 3 instances. One is developer instance, one is testing instance, and the next one is the production. So engineers usually work on development instances, and when we are working on the development instances, we create the update set to capture our configurations and customizations. So all the scripts, any changes that we make in the instance for the properties, or if I go ahead and create a UI page, business rule, all those gets captured in the update set. Then I can move to the test once my development activity is completed. So I can either test it myself, do a peer review, or give it back to the testing team who can perform rigorous testing on it. Once testing is completed, create a change window. Again, change window is already always required to make a production push. So again, the change team will review the changes. They'll give us a time frame in which this particular changes should go into production. And during all those times, updates it is the one that's going to help us. And then we have finally help sections. So we can define the help section as and when a user is stuck somewhere. They can always decide, develop some help content and showcase it here so that they can easily navigate through the instance without any issues. And if there are any notifications pointed out to any engineer, let's say if this particular incident that we are talking is assigned to us, probably we may see the notifications here. And there are also emails triggered by the system. So emails also go to any engineer if a task or a ticket is assigned to them or created by them. Finally, we have the profile view. So you can view your profile, set the preference. Impersonate user is another major concept using which you can perform any testing. So right now we are a developer, but I have completed my development and I want to see how this development looks like as an end user. So I can impersonate into an end user. Again, when it comes to an instance, there are multiple roles, n number of roles, but there are only 3 types of users when it comes to ServiceNow. One is admin user, who are developers who configure the instance. The next one is ITIL user, who actually work on tickets. And the final one is the end user. So these are 3 types of user that the instance usually has. And as an admin, it's pretty much straightforward. We go ahead, develop the instance, write some scripts, make some configurations. All those are done by admin. And end users are the one who consume the services. So let's say this particular service now is owned by an internet service provider. Then as an admin, the client will request us, the stakeholders will request us to make a service request for different plans. So as an end user, I log in into your website. That is ServiceNow. We can create an interactive website also that is called Service Portal or UA pages. So we can develop all those and give it there. But if I need to test, I can impersonate into an end user and see how the look and feel is. And again, as an end user, if I have requested a new service plan, that again goes and gets assigned to a user who actually works on these tickets. And these are called ITIL users. So admins develop, end users consume the development activity, and then the particular services are made operational by the ITIL users, who are nothing but the users who work on the tickets raised by the end users. And then finally, elevate role. Elevate role is another major concept where we play around with the security of the instance. So ACLs are the one that manage the security here, and that is called access control list. And in order to configure them, we need to elevate role. So only a system administrator who has a security admin role will be able to elevate into a security admin user and then configure the ACLs. We'll do that later. We're just trying to understand how the navigation works. So once all this is done, I can go ahead and log out. So finally, my work is done. I can log out, close the browser, and finish my day. That being said, we are trying to understand how we can navigate into the system, what is ServiceNow, and then how the system works.